I went back through and watched one of my old videos. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago where a light bulb had went off or a switch was flipped. It was when I finally realized that I need to start taking these small wins instead of trying to hang on for these big runs. And it was, the coolest part about this video is on my YouTube. It's pretty old. I'll have to go back and see if I can drop the link for you guys to see it. But it was realizing that these big runners or these big moves don't happen very often. That makes total sense. Of course not. The price doesn't move in one direction indefinitely in the markets. But you do get these little movements in between continuously. Like you're always getting movement. There is always movement in the market. You guys, Apex is running a crazy promotion right now. This isn't something that happens very often, so go ahead and utilize it now. Enter code Tori to use the best possible promotion. So if you can capitalize on the smaller movements in between, which happen much more often than these big runners, you're going to be more consistent and you're going to be more profitable in the long run. And that was something that I realized on camera as filming, as I was filming, talking through like my trading and where I'm at and my ideas for how to, get to that profitability. And it clicked. It clicked right there immediately. It was like, oh my gosh, if I could just take these small wins, I mean, $200, a few $200 moves is incredible. That adds up. That absolutely adds up. And in the long run, all you need is that consistency. If you could just continue to grab those $200 trades, you're on the right path. Instead, I was trying to hang on for the big moves because I wanted, I wanted that $1,000, that $5,000 move. Oh my gosh. And you know what I did instead? I kept giving up profit every time, giving up profit. I'd hold too long. Everything that I had made, gave it back, plus some. Whereas when I said, you know what, I'm going to be happy with these little moves in between, these little trends that you can catch, and I was in the 5-minute time frame back then too. I was like, let's just capitalize on these smaller wins. Let's take the smaller wins. You're going to succeed in the smaller wins more than you would in these long runs, hands down. It's just the likelihood and the probability of you collecting the small wins and capitalizing on those small wins and generating consistency over time is much higher than you just catching a lucky runner. So just some tips that I found whenever I was trying to make it from inconsistent, unprofitable to profitable was, you know what? Light bulb went off. Let's just take some small wins and be totally happy about it and stoked about it. Because in the long run, when you look back at the month and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the win rate. Look at all these little winners that I've got. So if this is something that you find yourself doing as a trader, holding on and giving those profits back, let's try the small wins. Let's get excited about the small wins. Let's take a step back and look at the end of our month, the end of our week, the end of our day even, and see, you know what? We just capitalized on some small wins and we are on the right path to being profitable.